Запрошуємо до слова.
Now the floor is given to Colonel Maksym Prauta, Ministry of Defense of Ukraine spokesperson and NATO-related issues. Welcome. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. During the last 24 hours, the forces of the aggressor were not able to fully refrain from ceasefire violations. The enemy continued to organize firing provocations at the positions of the Ukrainian forces, though on a significantly smaller scale than during the previous days. Now about the situation in more detail. In the Lugansk sector, this day the enemy didn't provide firing impact at Ukrainian forces, but at the same time in the Donetsk sector, Russian occupation units once violated ceasefire. And during the afternoon, pro-Russian illegal armed formations for half-hour shelled positions of Ukrainian forces on the outskirts of Avdiivka with the use of small arms. And I would like to note that the units of the armed forces of Ukraine this day fully adhered to ceasefire and didn't respond to the actions of the enemy. And in the result of precision shelling delivered by the enemy near Avdiivka, one Ukrainian serviceman of the armed forces of Ukraine sustained a bullet wound. He was promptly delivered to the military hospital and he was provided with necessary scope of medical help, and the doctors assess his state as satisfactory. And according to information provided by main intelligence department of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, occupation forces continue to implement measures for combat training in the east of Ukraine that are planned and coordinated with the combat training of the armed forces of Russian Federation in territory of Russia, and including the actions of the southern military district. And on the 24th and 25th of January, simultaneously in the firing ranges of temporarily occupied territories of Donetsk and Lugansk Oblast, and in the military units and large units of the southern military district of the Russian Federation in the framework of so-called the single day of fire, they carried out firing exercises and artillery fire control with the involvement of tanks and reconnaissance units, and also crews of unmanned aerial vehicles to practice coordination of in organization of complex firing destruction. The Ukrainian side of the Joint Center for Control and Coordination of on Ceasefire and Stabilization of Demarcation Line between the sides informs that the leaders of occupation power continue to fully ignore applications of the enterprises for provision of security guarantees for the period of maintenance and repair and restoration works on damaged facilities of infrastructure of Donetsk. And starting 2018, as of 26th of January, out of 40 applications that were provided to them, the occupation administration only agreed to provide security guarantee for only one application. And the leaders of occupants ignore the applications on both sides of the line of confrontation, and without the security guarantees, the repair crews cannot service and maintain facilities of critical infrastructure. And including the dam of the sludge collector of the third line of the industrial waste of coke and chemical core enterprise that is near Novgorodsk. And in case of ruining of this dam, the dangerous substances that are stored in the sludge collector, these substances will get into Kryvyi-Torets and Seversky Donetsk rivers, and the latter is used for collection of potable water for the residents of Donbass. And also ammonia pipeline of Ukrhim Transameric enterprise is also under threat, and if it is not serviced properly, it can lead to a technical catastrophe with heavy consequences. But it seems that the leaders of the occupants do not care about it and about the fate of the residents of the Donetsk, and non-provision of respective security guarantees prevents introduction into operation the power by Ukrainian power, the gas distribution station and gas pipeline Marinka Krasnogorivka area, and it threatens 26,000 of residents in Mariinka and Krasnogorivka. Lack of gas won't provide the launch of 13 gas boilers, and 6 schools and 5 kindergartens will be without heating, and as well as residential houses. And also the enterprises will be harmed, those that 3,000 people work. And the residents of Mayorsk, where 120 families live, also become the hostages of illegal actions of the leaders of the militants. And the requests from Voda Donbasu company remained without answer. And also, Vodafone company didn't receive security guarantees for restoration of their optic and fiber line, and now the occupied part of Donetsk is without mobile communication from Vodafone company, and Ukrainian side of JCCC believe that all these actions of the Russian occupation power threaten lives of the residents of Donbass, and this threatens the infrastructure of the whole region. And yesterday, Lithuanian servicemen headed by the head of Military Academy of the Armed Forces of Lithuanian Republic, Brigadier General Algis Vaicheliūnas, visited the Military Institute of Tank Forces named after Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine, of National Technical University Kharkiv Polytechnical Institute. The Lithuanian delegation got acquainted with the educational institution and structure of system of training for Ukrainian forces. The site discussed the issues of development of military education and also the start of educational projects on bilateral basis. Algis Vaicheliūnas invited representatives of the Tank Institute to visit educational institution in Vilnius in order to get information about the system of training of the Lithuanian servicemen. Also, in the framework of Unified Training Mission, 50 Canadian servicemen arrived to Ukraine. And in this way, our Canadian counterparts reinforced support of Ukraine in the restoration of sovereignty, security, and stability. And Canadian training mission now is the biggest from the start of its work in Ukraine. And Ottawa officially extended this mission until March 2019. And on at the basis of the National Military and Medical Clinical Center, the main military clinical hospital, they continue comprehensive rehabilitation for freed hostages, and 8 men who had big problems with teeth. They were treated in the central dental polyclinics of the Ministry of Defense, and also in the military, in the National Military Medical Clinical Center. And they were provided with dental implants, and they were provided with complex intervention. And some of them lost their teeth, and they were provided with 5 or 6 dental implants in each jaw and also the crowns. And for each serviceman, they developed a detailed plan how to do it. And yesterday in Kiev, they held ceremony to mark 25th anniversary of the foundation of the Central Sports Club of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. This event was attended by the Minister of Defense of Ukraine, General of Army of Ukraine, Stepan Poltorak, Minister of Youth and Sports, Igor Zhdanov, President of the National Olympic Committee of Ukraine, Sergei Bubka, sportsmen of Armed Forces of Ukraine, champions and prize winners of international and all Ukrainian contests, the veterans of Army sports, and other honorable guests. The sportsmen and the veterans of Army sports were provided with the awards and valuable gifts and monetary prizes. And for the 25 years of the Central Sports Club of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, about 6,800 sportsmen took part in more than 2,600 international competitions, where they won 1,282 1,3 gold, 1,313 silver, and 1,299 bronze medals. And the Army sportsmen won also during the Olympics 7 gold, 8 silver, and 12 bronze medals. And the Army sportsmen continue to represent Ukraine in at the sports arena, and during the international tournament in Estonia, Prauta, the worker of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Anna Platitsina, got a prize on the distance of 60 meters with barriers, and another Army sports woman soldier, Irina Gerashenko, won gold in international track and field competition in the Czech Republic in the sector of jumps, and the representative of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in the framework of the national team during the Olympics, Senior Sergeant Irina Vinets got gold in sprinting in the champion of Europe in the biathlon that is ongoing in Italian right now. Thank you very much.